Hi, my name is Miranda. I'm a QT law student. Following on from the first part where my teammate Xiamen described what is a residential tenancy agreement and what does it contain. In this part, I will be firstly focusing on discussing some of the legal rights and obligations you should be aware of as a tenant. Then I will briefly introduce the process of resolving disputes should a dispute arise between you and your landlord. Finally, I will provide some links that contain useful information and support for tenants who are experiencing financial hardship due to COVID-19. To keep the video in an appropriate length, the content has been divided up into 3 parts, and each part will be delivered to you through a short video lasting for about 5 minutes. Starting from tenants' obligations, I will be discussing 2 of them in this video, namely payment of rental bond and the payment of rent on time. Other obligations will be covered in the second video. At the start of the tenancy, you will usually need to pay a rental bond. The bond is to provide financial security for the landlord. It will be paid back to you when you vacate at the end of the tenancy, provided the property is left in a clean condition and no money is owed for rent and damages. In terms of the amount of bond that can be taken, for general tenancies, the law says if the rent is $700 or less per week, the maximum bond amount is 4 weeks' rent. If the weekly rent is higher than $700, the amount of bond should be negotiated between you and your landlord. Remember to ask for a receipt from the person you pay bond. Keep your bond receipt in a safe place along with your other tenancy documents, as this receipt may be your only evidence you paid the bond. In Queensland, all rental bonds must be lodged with the Residential Tenancies Authority (RTA). I will be using the acronym RTA hereinafter in this video. RTA is a government authority that oversees tenancy laws in Queensland. The law requires the property manager or landlord to lodge the bond with the RTA within 10 days upon receiving the bond. If they fail to lodge the bond with the RTA, it's a serious offense. You can report this to the RTA, but you need to provide your bond receipt as evidence you've paid the bond. As a tenant, it's your responsibility to pay rent on time. For general tenancies, if your rent is 7 days late, the property manager or landlord can give you a notice to remedy breach for rent arrears. If you get that notice, it is important to catch up the rent by the due date on notice. If the rent is still not paid out by the due date shown on the notice, your property manager or landlord can give you a notice to leave, which gives you 7 days to move out. Note if you pay the rent after you receive the notice to leave, the property manager or landlord can still ask you to leave. If you want to stay, you should ask them if they agree to withdraw the notice and allow you to continue under the original tenancy agreement. If this agreement can be reached, remember to put it in writing. In regard to the method of rent payment, it should have already been stated in your tenancy agreement. Payment card is probably the most common form of payment these days, but if you want to pay by cash, ask your property manager or landlord at the beginning. Whatever the payment method is, make sure to get a receipt after you paid. The following scenario outlines the problem Sarah encountered after using cash to pay rent. Sarah put her rent in the on-site management job slot when the rent was due, but still received a past due notice on her door. When she came to ask the property manager, the manager said he never received the cash payment. As it was a cash payment, Sarah did not have any way of tracking it. The property manager said she would either have to make a second payment or move out. This scenario tells us that tenants should be clear on how to make a rent payment. Ask for a receipt when the rent is paid, especially if you pay by cash. This can provide important evidence if you later have a dispute about rent.